Hello, people. Don't know how many people is watching, but hello. Let me grab a jacket. I don't know. I just find it very tacky when you have a big strap and you have what are they called? In my time, spaghetti straps. It's just a little bit on the tacky side, but it's warm in here. It's probably about 68, 70 degrees outside. And we just had not too long ago snow. So go figure that one out. So let's see here. Auto. Can I flip it? Yeah. I want to flip it back. I don't know if you can see it. Why is it so? It's like it's blurry. Well, it probably is because of the sand blowing around. My camera's not picking it up through the window. That could be it. So, who knows? So I'll just flip you around again. Let's see. There! Wow. I don't know if you let me. No, it's not gonna let me yet. See all that in the distance? The mountain's kind of hazy over there. That is actually sand. It's a sandstorm. Of course, it looks clear where I'm at, but we're in the middle of the sandstorm right now. So I'll just let you guys look. I'll put you over that way because you can see. Yeah, you could probably hear it. It's really windy. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it with my eyes of the sand getting blown. So updates. Still working on Bible study, Revelations. I don't know. He did a very good job last Wednesday, but the church that we go to, we decided, well, with help of other people, you can see it now, other people that, you know, having issues with how this one person was teaching, because what he's trying to do, what we all talked about, is he's way up here trying to be like a scholar. And I think I said this in my other line. What he's trying to do is he's trying to talk big words like a scholar, but he doesn't want anyone to answer questions. He doesn't want to have a discussion about it. And he also wants us, he'll throw out verses, and he wants us during the week to read it and to study them and to study. And our pastor says that's not a Bible study. Bible study is for a group of us to study the Word of God in the Bible together and discuss it, so we all have that same, because everybody has a different level of education, of how they learn and everything else, and so we just had a big discussion and everything about it, and told him, basically, everything. And I told him, I said, basically, I'm not, I would come if basically, okay, down the road right now, I don't know if you can see this. Now we're in the middle of it. It's it's the wind rotating the sand and everything all around. Like a little miniature tiny dust whipping tornado little thing. What are you barking at? Because I don't like this. Okay, it's done. It's done. Okay. Yes, I know. I got her up here next to me. We kind of changed it with this here. This part here was over here with a little bench. And there's not enough room for 2 people. And my husband, he goes, why don't we take it off and bring in one of the office chairs? It'd be more comfortable since only one can sit there anyways. And I go, sure. So he put this on top of the other one to raise it up. I wish he would have put the board up higher. Then it'd be like, because we're talking about table, we're still talking about the table. That we can be up front and then move back there so someone can sit and have a table and stuff. But this actually works. I want it big enough so I can actually sew. But that's here and there. But getting back, so the guy that's doing Wednesday night on church, he wants to be, way up as like a scholar. And I flat told him, I said, I don't understand when you teach like that. I have no clue. I said, and you're going to lose a couple of us. I said, like Patty and I, we'll be so back in left field that we just don't know. Of course, Patty don't want to argue. She just wants to stay. She goes, I'm learning a lot. No, because she doesn't like get last Wednesday. He actually taught like a good teacher. We can ask questions. He answered them. We had a little discussion, and you could see it was a lot easier for me to understand what was going on. But you could see the little light bulbs going in her head. Bam, bam, bam. Of course, she says, no, it's because there was no fighting. No, it was because he brought it down to a level where you can understand it. I took a drink. And so, yeah, I just wanted him to know that, of what he was doing. He couldn't do that. He couldn't do that to lose people. He's supposed to be bringing the body of church, which is all the members, together. And what he was doing was separating them. Now, I also found out too that the last time he taught this, because this is the second time he taught it. Last time he taught it, he had a whole handful, and he went down to just very few people. Very few. Well, that tells you right there that, you know, that he lost it, you know. I mean, way I'm doing it right now, I'll be done way before he gets done, and I'll actually learn a lot more than the way what he was doing. So, but yeah. But I'm working on, what is it, the third or fourth church. Let's see here. No, yeah, the third church. Right? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. But anyways. But yeah. So today, what? Okay, the last week's update, nothing much. Outside of getting the last part of taxes and going through for taxes, because we got to file in Oregon. Unfortunately, thank God that'll be the last time that we pay state tax. And Tim's at work. He started another job, and it's local here, so. And he put fence posts. He finished putting the corner fence posts up on our property and our neighbor's property. And let's see, what else did we do last week? Played Dungeons and Dragons with my sister on Saturday. Every other Saturday, I go into Fallon and play Dungeons and Dragons with my sister and a group of other people. It's fun. It's a blast. And we're talking about figuring out septic this year and better solar on the trailer here, and maybe solar at the I want to say convict, but no, the metal storage unit that we have, since I can't think of, it's one of those things that a lot of I can't even pronounce it. A lot of people have dyslexia, and they Connex. That's what it is. You see a word, but you can't pronounce it, or you can't get it out. I know a lot of people say I have that all the time. Well, when you have what I have, it's really hard. You're going, That's one of the reasons why I like to do these lives. Even though I ramble on, it's good for me because it makes me think of words. I don't try to go around the word and find another word, which is very common for people that has dyslexia. See, I want to say something different, but I want to use that word, so I might be quiet for a little bit to think of the word, but I'm hoping the more I use the words I can't find, or I find but I can't pronounce it, the more I try to pronounce it, maybe my brain will start clicking more. Oh, this is what you're talking about. Okay. So, who knows? But let's see. So far this week, we gave it's a iPhone 14, but it's like only 2 months old, to a friend that her phone kept throwing up all these pop-ups, and she'd go get it all cleaned, and within 5-10 minutes it was messed up again, doing the same thing. She couldn't do anything, you know. So we gave her that. She got it hooked up and it's working wonderful. She goes, I love this phone. She goes, I'm not going, pretty much I don't think that she's going to go back to a Android. So, and everyone told her, don't click on anything that you don't want. Don't click on any links or any. She doesn't. That was the whole thing. It was Google and Chrome and popping up all these little ads, and wouldn't give her time to do anything, you know, and kept doing it. And then someone would tell her to go in and download this to clean it up, and it made it worse. And then that person had an Android, and she accidentally clicked, she admitted that she clicked on something, a link, and started getting pop-ups, and then she clicked on the same thing to clean it up, and it made it worse. And her husband smiled at her and basically said, that's why I have an iPhone. That's why I have an iPhone. We pretty much, I mean, we went from Windows over to Macs. I had at one time an Android with my Windows, and it never wanted to connect. Because just because you have an Android does not mean that it's going to connect with like a HP. Especially when you have it running like Chrome and Google and all that stuff, you know, then you got to set your computer up to do the same thing. And Google just overwhelms everything. I don't care what anybody says. Google's, you know, YouTube, Google is all useful, but when you start downloading, Chrome is good for certain things. I use Chrome on my Mac because there's certain things that won't load very well with Safari. I'll use Chrome because I like Chrome better than other browsers. But I still have to be really careful about it. Because the wrong little thing, Chrome will start popping up these ads. But getting back to her phone, I shut off everything that I could do with Chrome to get it to stop, and it wouldn't stop. Well, she had a printer that she wanted to print music for the church, and we couldn't even put the app on for her new printer, Canon printer, to print off of the phone. So yesterday we went over there. I had a full width Canon. Shut it off, turn it on, shut it off, turn it on. Played with the app a little bit until it finally say, oh, the printer's not online. You want it online? Yes. What's the password? Give it a password. Bam, it's there now. Now anybody that wants to go in, they don't even need a password to print off or a Wi-Fi. access to, they just hit the printer off of the Wi-Fi thing and it just prints it. So I wanted it nice and simple for her, and because she's in her upper 80s, between 70, upper 70s and upper 80s, somewhere along there. Very sweet person. I totally adore her. And so we did that, and our pastor, while we were there, texted me, "You're not at the senior center." Well, we're coming down in a few minutes after we get the printer going and make sure it's going. And we'll be down there. And then he realized that he's at the church, so we went out to the church and visit with him for a little bit. Because we usually go to the senior center and see our pastor at the senior center. And, you know, have lunch with him and stuff. He's a very awesome, knowledgeable person. And so we did that. So we met him out there, and we were talking about computers, and he goes, "Yeah, it would be nice to have this one running, then I could send, you know, stuff over to it like through an email that he could pick up." That's the next thing that I got to ask him. You want your email set up or a different email set up on it so you can have it, so you can send it from one computer to another? That'll be my question for him tonight, is get that all set up. And so we'll get him all set up, and we'll get him going. But so he goes, "Yeah, everyone keeps telling me this is Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi don't work on this computer, and you know, and everything." Well, it's a Windows 7 computer, and they upgraded it so I take Windows 10. So it's got Windows 10. It's got a little bit higher RAM in it. That's about it. I had to open it up because, you know, they kept, a couple of the people, well, 3 of the people at church kept saying it's Wi-Fi, it's Wi-Fi, it's Wi-Fi. No, I finally opened it up. It only has a built-in network card in it. That's all it has. Nothing else in it. So I told him, I said, it would be cheaper it'd be cheaper for the church to get a network cable long enough to run it from wherever the router is, because we got a whole bunch of access to the attic, and we can run it up on the attic and somehow down to it. And he goes, "Well, I have this box," and we looked and looked and looked, finally found the box that has, oh, this box is probably got over, I would say 1,000, because it's a big box, big huge box. And I don't know how much without looking at it. Hey, I can look at it. Let's see. Let's close out of there. Box of net cable. Let's see. It's more than that. Oh, let's see. So it's going to be probably 3,000 feet, you know, with the ends. So we're going, okay, then we will need the small network. What do you call those? My brains. The network jack for it. I think there's another name for it, but so I said all we need is a couple of those and we could do it. And now we got to find the box. So we're looking all over the church and we can't find it. And he's saying, I don't think anybody knows where it is outside of it being outside. There's a little antenna. So Tim's outside trying to figure out where the cable's coming in. He's following the cable outside. And we called the company that they got the internet from, and they can't find wherever the box went. Finally, Tim came and you hear him up in the attic, clump, plump, plump, plump. He found it. It's a tiny, tiny little box that's on top of a shelf that is taller than my husband's over 6. He's like 6'6". Well, was 6'6". He's probably 6'4" now, but you know, he's pretty tall still. This bookcase is taller than him, and he couldn't see it up there. But we found it, and well, come find out, there's in the back of the church where we all sit, congregation sits, there's a thing with stereo and everything, and there's a computer, and he goes, that computer's dead. Okay. I don't think it's dead. I think it's just unplugged. But there's a whole wound cord sitting there. So I'm like, okay, let's take this instead of, because it has both ends. And so Tim, my husband, gets in the attic and he starts running this cable through the little vent where they have the other cable from outside coming in through this little heating vent. Put this cable through that, and I think it's just for air more than anything. And he runs it through, and he's trying to get it, the part where the office is for the pastor is up front, and there's no way of, it's how the roof comes. They didn't put a board down so you can walk, so it's all just, you know, you can't, you know, you might fall through. So he ended up tossing it over there. Still didn't make it. We didn't want to do any holes. We didn't have a drill there anyways. So Tim has this thing in the back of the truck, because our truck is really tall. So I can't climb up in it. My husband, being as tall as he has a hard time climbing up in it too. So he has this thing that can extend. So he can grab, so if anything gets pushed in the back, he can grab it with it. He goes, go get that. And I'm going, I'm short. He goes, you'll be able to get it. So I got it. I was excited. Yay, I got it. And brought it into him, and he was able to extend it out to put the wire exactly where he was. And we put it in to the office where the register is for the air intake is, and got internet for him up front. What are you growling at? Libby's growling at something. I think it's just the wind. But yeah, so we got his internet going yesterday. I love doing little things like that anyways. I mean, that's, don't pay me, just, you know, I'll just volunteer my time to do it, you know. But it was like one of the guys, he's telling me, well, it's just the Wi-Fi is not working, the computer's too old, and there's nothing that we could do about it. Giving me this like look, and I've heard this before because working as a technician, even though I haven't went to college on it for, over 15 years, I get, guys coming in to the office or calling in, and they make a big kind of a thing. Oh, you're a girl. Can I talk to such and such? He'll help me. No, I finally got tired of it, and I said, two things are going to happen. You're going to talk to me and let me see if I can help, or I'm going to hang up, going to let my tech know that, because I can guarantee that you probably got his number somewhere and he's not answering his phone because he's probably at another customer's house, which he is, which I kind of knew where he was at. And I go, so, no. I said, I will get a hold of him. I'll send him a text or email and tell him not to answer his phone if you call. That you have to literally call in to get help. I said, he is too busy out in the field for customers to bug him 24/7. Plus, you guys have a habit of bugging him after hours when he's trying to do things with his kids. He's got a couple kids. I think he had 3 kids, if I remember right. 2 boys and a girl, just like I did. And I go, no, here's our hours. You call back. I'm here until here, and then you'll get Sue. A lot of people didn't want to deal with Sue. So they would call back and say, okay, we calmed down. And they worked with me, and I got them up and going. They go, wow, you know your stuff. And you walked us right through it with ease. It's like you knew the page. Well, what I did a lot of times, so I knew exactly what they were looking at or what they should be looking at. I was looking, I could walk them through it without going to the screen. But I would be, okay, your screen should look like this. And I would explain what the screen would look like. And they go, well, that's not the screen that I have. I said, okay. I said, close out of all of your windows. Okay, now you have your picture that you have on your desktop. And a lot of people will say, I don't know what the desktop is. So I had to explain what their desktop is. And a lot of times I go, it's your front page. Because that's what a lot of people will say, it's my front page. Okay, your front page. Go down in the corner where you would turn it on or shut it off. Push that button. And we'd, go up to the programs and I'd walk them through one step at a time. I'm not doing it at the same time they are. So I'd go, okay, read me the list that you have. And if it's the same list, I would continue down on the list, reading it. So they knew that I'm looking at the same, that I'm looking at the same thing. I said, now click this part. Now the page that you should have, it should say this on top. Should have these on the side. And you should have this in the middle and this, in the middle in the white area and stuff. And just, one little step at a time. I mean, I got so good that I actually was, when we had dial-up, that tells you how old I was. I mean, how old or how ancient I am. We had dial-up customers, plus, DSL started coming out, so you had your dial-up, your DSL and everything. So you actually had both of these. And so I got so good that I'd tell the person, and this is exactly what I would tell them. Okay, go out and you buy a dial-up modem. And I'd give them a brand that our local store would have. And say, tell them that you want this. And they'd go get it. And I go, okay, open up the box. You know, take it out of the bag. Now, on your computer, and I would know, you know, they would tell me what brand their computer was. And I'd go, okay. So it would be opened up this way. We'd open it up. I said, now, I'd always leave the phone line attached. I said, find your phone line from the wall. If you can find it from the wall. Because a lot of people go, I don't have a phone. Or I don't have a phone line. Or what is a phone line? You know. Must be a helicopter out there. Yep. Ooh, it's a rescue. No, it's an army. I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys might not be able to see it. It's starting to land. But anyways. So I'd say follow your phone card until you don't unhook it, but tell me when you found it at the end of hooking that it's hooked to your computer. And they would tell me, and I go, good. I said, now look inside and see that little board that it's hooked up to? And they would go, yeah. Unscrew that little screw. Make sure you have it aside. Now unplug your phone cord, lay it next to the screw. You're going to pull a little hard out on that little thing, because it's going to be, you know, sometimes it had a little thing that you had to push. Other times it's just basically yanking it out of there hard. Now take your new one, push it in. Now on the back side, you're going to see two spots for a phone line. You want the in, because this is coming into your computer. The other one goes out, would be you can actually hook up a phone and you can actually talk to it when your computer ain't hooked up to dial-up. You know how many people did not know that they could hook up their phone and they got it like a two-way thing there at the phone jack on the wall? You know, but after I got that all done and installed, of course, when we took it out, we, you know, like restarted the computer, made sure that the other one wasn't reading anymore. And if we had to uninstall it, we uninstalled it. And then put this one in and install the drivers. Sometimes I actually had them already sent to them, and it's on their desktop part of it. So all they have to do is double click on it. Because they were, at that time, they were still pretty simple. They weren't too big that you can actually send it or send a link to download the drivers for it. And they were up and going again. You know, and what I always did is I always had them try to dial in. And if I can hear it dialing, I said, now, what I want you to do is I'm going to get off the phone with you, wait 2 minutes, dial in, see if it works, call me back in 5 to 10 minutes, and we will see if, and 99.999999%, you know, it's that half smidgen percentage that it didn't work, that it was something else. But I always found out, you know, what it was, you know. So, but that's kind of you know, I got pretty good at doing that, and I got pretty good at walking people how to put in a video card, disengaging. I never liked, and I know everyone has it pretty much built in now, and they have got a lot better, but they always had, you know, the computers that had the built-in video card built into the motherboard. I hate those things. But I walked people how to uninstall those because they weren't working at all. Go out and buy one compatible to their computer, you know, and upgrade their video card and got it up working. I've walked through with them over the phone of putting more memory in their thing. Couple times I had people that they had a virus and it totally wiped off their hard drive, and we couldn't get their hard drive, anything installed on the hard drive. You know, safe mode, couldn't put it in safe mode either. It totally just destroyed the hard drive. So I would tell them, I go, okay, I said, here's 2 places to go. There was a Fry's Electronics, which everybody knew that where that is. The only thing is that things were kind of hard to, you know, you never know what's going to work or what's not. But I always had them go, because at that time we lived in Tillamook, and I had them go in and what was it? Target, Tiger or Beaverton, and go to a wholesaler that would sell off of anybody. And I would have them go and go in there, and I'd have them write down what they needed and say, hey, I need this. And I need the Windows for it. And this is my computer. This is what my RAM is and stuff. And sometimes they would call me and say, well, they told me that it wouldn't work because I needed more RAM. And I'd talk to the guy and I go, no, they don't need any RAM for it. Or, yeah, it would run better smoother with a RAM, but there's, you know, we can't because some computers couldn't even upgrade the RAM. But I would install, you know, while I'm working in the morning. I said, tomorrow morning, you got it. Tomorrow morning, you're going to give me a call. I was on the phone, got them all hooked up, you know, got everything apart for, you know, walked them through of taking it all apart and putting the hard drive back in and getting installed. And every time that it got to a point where they'd have to, you know, like, Windows is installed. I do Windows. And so, you know, we'd install Windows, and then I go, okay, we need the drivers. Make sure that they had all the drivers that they needed. Help them get that started, you know. They call me back, and we'd go back and forth, and here their computer's up like brand new, you know. And our office manager, before she left, she was really excited. I mean, she was like, damn girl, you're good. And she started doing it. She knew how to do it. She's done it, you know, people would bring in their computer, or she'd go there after work to do it. But she got pretty good at talking them through it too, on different things. She wasn't comfortable of hard drive. But, you know, a lot of times my tech that was out there, he'd go to someone's house and, you know, take the old hard drive out, put the hard drive, start putting Windows in. I said, he'd go, once it installs, give me a call. And he'd, you know, then start walking him through how to do all the other stuff. So, you know, it was one less thing that he'd have to deal with. So, but that's kind of my background. I love, you know, I love doing things like that for people. I don't charge them. You know, kind of two reasons why I never charge, even, you know, even after that job, we closed the office down, and eventually it was closed shortly after that. Because, you know, it wasn't worth of having DSL, because, you know, you're a third party for DSL. So you basically pretty much had to pay two companies. It depends on, I know that there were some companies in Oregon that had to pay 4 different companies. They were the 5th. Oh, it's okay. It's a UPS. It's a UPS. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. You're fine. That's enough. That's enough. You're a good girl. She's like, I heard him. I see him, Mama. I see him. I'm protecting you. She's so crazy. But anyways, we just, you know, I just don't, you know, that's kind of how I started with the tech work, is doing it on my own, learning how to do it, helping neighbors and friends do it. It came really easy to me, but when it came into the details of, because I actually wanted to get my, like, tech license. It not, you know, certain states you gotta have license now, I guess, but, you know, certifications and stuff. But some of the stuff that they wanted you to know, it's like, why, you know, and the words, you know, that they put on it. A normal human being isn't going to know what it is unless they played with it enough and know what it is, you know, the big word for it. But so I never really wanted to play too much as a tech and call myself a tech. I always called it support. I'm a support person. And I also did several years with a company with their readers and their so-called tablet things. I won't get into that because that's another can of worms with managers. And if anybody knows who I'm talking about, that's good, because you would totally understand it. But I did it at home for Christmas time. And I could tell you, if you're working from home, especially with this company, you don't get the hours that they say that you'll get. You do the hours that they want you to do. They'll even call you up and tell you all hands on deck, even if you had a lunch date and you're off at that time, you still had to be there. So that's another can of worms. Maybe someday I will actually talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. So it's just one of those things. Can't believe I'm been here for almost 50 minutes talking about these stories. But anyways, so we did that, and yesterday got it up and going, and we have a new Bible study starting off tonight, which I'm excited about. It's not Revelations, and hopefully my husband will take me to Revelations. I just want to see how long it's going to take the gentleman that's teaching it, how long it's going to take for him to start going back to doing his old self of thinking that he's a scholar. You know. Looks like that trailer is closer to our Connex than naturally it is. It's just the way the earth changes out here. I don't care what anybody says. It changes because there's sometimes that you can see almost the whole Connex. Because our Connex and our property where we're at right now, if you follow the street, let's see, that street there, you can walk it. It's 1.5 miles. Is where our property. We're in on one corner. Where we're at right now is on another corner, and it's 1.5 miles. Because every one is about almost 4.5 acres. Almost. Give and take. On this block, there's like eight of us, I think. I think that includes both sides. I'd have to look, but I think there's 8 lots on the street. And right now, the two people that are actually living on it is us and our neighbor, and we're taking care of our neighbor's place because he's got chickens and he's working back east, so. And he's got some equipment and stuff. So he's on one corner. We're on another corner. Great guy. He's basically family. I love, I'm not, and I've said this again, I don't like the desert, but I love, because right here we got the view of the mountain ranges on all 4 sides. I haven't made it of walking all the way to the lake and showing you how close the lake is yet. I've been talking about it. I just haven't done it. Several things I haven't done that I've talked about. But even though it's pretty much 70 degrees outside and the wind is warm, with the dust, you never know when the little dust storms come up out of the blue. I mean, we can have one start here and go out. You just don't know. So, but yeah, I'm just rambling on right now, but I'm hoping now on a regular basis I can actually do a live, and I can eventually maybe do a live in the afternoon. I know I wanted this channel to be off grid. I wanted this channel to be how to maintain, but everything is so slow. We're kind of flat broke, and I got another channel up going. I'm having more fun with that one right now. And it's a blast. More than doing anything else. And that's, if you put in on YouTube, if you put in the search bar at like you would do like an email, whatever at gmail.com. If you just put the @ and put FLS and then click Cricut after that, you'll find my little page. And there's a couple of them that's not AI, that is actually from the cameras off of my, that we have. But most of the time, everything's done AI and little songs that I made up with the app. And I always have fun with that. I do that in the evenings before I go to bed. It actually it really relaxes me, because it just kind of chills my brain down. And I actually sleep better. I'm having less nights where I'm up all night, up and down. So it kind of gets me focused on one thing only, and calming my brain down. Because what has been happening, and I didn't realize this, that, well, I kind of knew it was happening and everything, is that I'd lay there, and I start thinking of little things I could be doing, or thinking of things that had happened in the during the day, and that would keep me up. That would get my brain basically in not high alert, but high thinking about everything. You know, not so much of what I wanted to do, but so much of other things, like I mispronounce this word and everything. Well, look it up on, you'd have to look it up, then I'd have to look it up, and it just drove me crazy. Well, I now focusing on this at night, and once I'm done with it and I upload it to be loaded at a certain time the next day, it actually calms my brain down enough where when I get done with it, I could just kind of get up, go to the bathroom, go to the restroom, go back to bed, and go to sleep. And sleep for hours before I had to go up to the bathroom again. And I'm able to go back to sleep really easy. So, but that's it. I'm done. It's been almost an hour. And of course, I didn't get anybody to talk to me or chat with me, but that's okay. One of these days, I'll have more people on here. My other channel has more people on it, but I don't do lives on it. So maybe I will write down some notes next time. I don't think I'm going to do anything about too much about the Bible or anything. You might hear me talking about it once in a while. I don't want to be a Bible thing, but I would like to have an interaction with the chat, and we can ask maybe techie questions, or we could go back and forth, of different questions. Maybe we could find out, hey, this is a subject that I like to talk about. Do you have any information on it? And we start talking as a chat back and forth. The chat talking to me, and we can be discussing different things, and maybe we can all learn from each other. That's kind of my goal here, and of course updating you on the property from time to time and everything. So, okay. That was said, and we're almost an hour, so I will talk to you later. Have a great week, and I will talk to you sometime next week, and I will hopefully eventually can figure out what day I can post it, so I can get a notification out to anybody that wants to see it. Talk to you later. Bye.